Welcome back to another video. It is Sunday evening. It is 4:45. It is so cold out here. I've had a really busy work day, so I'm training like a good few hours later than I like to on a Sunday. But feeling good overall. Apologies if you can hear the garage door blowing with the wind and the heater in the background. I cannot turn that off, and it is, the weather is not good. Has been raining for like the last 2 hours. I haven't actually gone on a walk today either, so my steps are pretty low today. My boyfriend's actually currently walking the dog. He's been gone for like over an hour now because I've just been at my desk. So had a bit of a lazy morning like I normally do on a Sunday. I normally spend like the first 2-3 hours of the day, well, 2 hours of the day really, having breakfast, kind of chilling out on the sofa with Zuko, just like our dog, just relaxing for a bit. And then I normally try and start work kind of between 10 and 11. I think it was closer to 11 today, but that's fine. Did have more to do today than I kind of expected, but that's not a problem. Got everything I needed to done, and now going to train. I want to give a bit of a recap on the week. So this is my first week working with my nutrition coach, Hannah. Started together on Monday, it's now Sunday, so I've filled in my check-in form this afternoon, so my first check-in with her will be tomorrow. And I'm not surprised saying this, like I'm a nutrition coach myself. I know all the benefits of dialing in on your nutrition, and I'm also aware of how bad my nutrition was over the Christmas period, not even just Christmas period, post-comp into Christmas, like a whole month pretty much of just my diet being not great. On training days, to be fair, I was trying to make sure I was fueling myself as well as possible, at least pre-workout, but I feel so much better. Like I feel like a new person this week. My energy levels, bearing in mind it's been a pretty hectic work week. Like I was back to work last Friday, so it's been over a week of me being back to work, but my God, like full week back in routine, haven't really stopped. I've been tired generally, but I've felt miles better. Like I can't express how much better I felt in myself, not even just in terms of like physically, like my body in terms of like training. Like I felt so much stronger this week. I've felt so much more recovered this week. I've also felt so much better in myself. If you've watched previous videos, you'll know it. Like it's no secret. I've spoken about the fact that like my body image issues and stuff have definitely been back lately and kind of worse than they've been for probably years. But this week I felt miles more confident in myself as well, just from eating a bit better. Scale-wise, I started the week at 90.7 kilograms. I knew that was very temporary and it was going to drop quite quickly. We've been kind of on roughly what would normally be my maintenance calories this week. I think most days I've been between 2,300 to 2,500. It's been a bit of a broad range this week just to get back in the routine of tracking and so that Hannah can see what my normal diet kind of looks like and like what my food choices normally are. The garage door is so noisy, so apologies for that. But yeah, Hannah just wanted to kind of see what my normal looks like, and then we'll make adjustments and start the deficit as of tomorrow. And yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say because the shutter has just put me off. But basically, my body weight. So started the week at 90.7. Obviously, I expected quite a quick drop there, and I was 89 on the dot today. So 1.7 down from Monday. Obviously, most of that is literally just going to be retention, but I've just felt really good in myself. And for being 89 kilograms, I feel the best I ever have at this body weight. So I'm really excited to see what happens as we cut a little bit closer to the class. I did speak in the last video about possibly doing British bench. So today I did run the idea by Hannah. I'll wait until she responds to my check-in tomorrow to get her thoughts on it. I am pretty set on doing it though, and I can't imagine she would tell me not to. I just think it's going to be a case of, you know, this is going to be hard, just in terms of the baking weight part. But realistically, I think it's 6 weeks away today, maybe 7 weeks today. I think it's 7 weeks today, if I'm not mistaken. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7 weeks today, and I'm currently 89 on the dot. Still probably going to see quite a quick drop over the next few days anyway. Like my weight has been dropping off quickly just from being back in routine, moving a bit more, you know, the normal stuff. So realistically, 3 kilos in 7 weeks is pretty doable, and then an acute cut from the last 2 kilos. So it's definitely doable. It wasn't looking as doable this time last week, but now it is definitely looking doable. And I do think she'll be absolutely fine with me doing it. It's just going to be make sure you're on everything, which, to be honest, I don't think it's a bad thing me doing British bench because it will give me this 7 weeks of I have to be dialed in on everything. I have to tick every box. And I think that'll be a really good way to just kickstart the cut into the class. Anyway, like I've said in previous videos, the goal is to sit in my class this year. What better way to get me on track for that than doing a comp in a few weeks? So I will know for definite probably in the next video. But I will obviously let you guys know as soon as I make my decision on whether or not I'm going to do British bench, but I would really like to. So yeah, I did mention in the last video as well, I think, about maybe doing English bench, but I have more lifters now wanting to do it, and I think I'm just going to go and handle, but I will be there. And then I've got another comp the week after. Thankfully, the region had a clash. So the region I live in had a clash with their Masters and Novices comp and the English bench. They have rearranged the schedule, thank God, because I have a couple of new people wanting to also do Masters and Novices, as well as another lifter wanting to do it. And obviously I want to be there for my novices, but equally national comps usually take precedent, but because it's a bench only, it's a bit of a grey area. But they have rearranged the schedule, which means I can be at both, which just means back-to-back comp weekends, but I am totally fine with that. I'm actually really looking forward to it, and I love seeing the comp schedule for the year start to build and finding out where I'm going to be throughout the year type thing. And I'm very excited for a busy year. So yeah, I think that's kind of it. I just want to basically say, like, a reminder to anyone that maybe isn't dialed in on their nutrition, dial in and you will feel so much better in yourself. Like, my energy levels, everything has just been way better. Even with being super busy this week, like, I just feel miles better in myself. I'm also feeling really happy because podcast. So if anyone doesn't know, The Art of Lifting, got the jumper on now, didn't even realise. The Art of Lifting is a podcast that I started September 2024, I think. And it kind of fell off a little bit last year. I was just too busy to keep on top of it all. But if you include the Sheffield previews and recap, which I haven't filmed yet, but the Sheffield preview is booked in for this week. I need to get the recap booked in, but obviously that'll be after Sheffield. If I get those all filmed, then I have podcasts up to the last weekend of February. And as I'm recording this, it is the 11th of January. So I am well ahead on weekly episodes, which I'm so happy about. Got plenty of other people that I'm interested in asking to come on that I know won't mind coming on. So really happy with how that's all shaping up as well. And really enjoying being back on that. And I just feel like I've got things together. It's weird though, because normally New Year, everyone's like, I'm super motivated, I'm gonna get on top of things. And don't get me wrong, I'm generally quite, I'm not necessarily a motivated person, but I'm very good at just getting things done year round. Like, I'm not someone that needs that sudden burst of motivation, but naturally in the new year, normally there is some. I haven't had that at all this year. I think the opposite has happened this year, where I'm actually a little bit more like antsy that things aren't necessarily where I want them to be. And like, I can't really do much more than what I'm currently doing. And I'm very aware of that. And I think if anything, it's put me in a bit of a rut this week. Granted, I've still been ticking every box I need to and stuff, because that's just who I am as a person. But hope that makes sense. Lots of ramble there. I'm really kind of putting off this session because it's so cold. But the session today is looking pretty light and comfortable, nothing crazy. It is just week 1, day 4. So everything is pretty low RPEs. We've got ascending fours on squat, an RPE of 4, 5, and 6. Plan is to do 135, 145, 155, mostly because that sets me up for what I would like to hit later in the block. We are dropping to triples later in the block, and I may have an RP 9 triple on week 4 of the block. So I'm kind of pacing towards that. And then I've got a set load 1x5 at 140 after, so that shouldn't take me long at all. And then I've got a top double on bench at an RPE of 7 for week 1. I mentioned in the last video, my coach Lewis, when I told him my current body weight, bench has been going really well. I hit 115 for a PB double last block, and it wasn't a strong day at all, and it was super cold, so my body just felt awful that session. He basically was like, maybe you maintain this body weight for this block, and we aim for a 120 bench double, and we deal with the body weight after type thing. And I was like, well, I'm pretty sure I can hit 120 for a bench double in a deficit. So that shutter is so noisy. So I am hoping to hit close to, if not a 120 bench double. That is an incredibly optimistic goal. I wouldn't normally say that out loud, but I'm just gonna try. All I can do is try. But yeah, bench is starting a bit heavier than normal. So I didn't actually realize it was an RP 7 double this week. So I put 105, but actually I might start a bit heavier, maybe 107.5. I think my thinking was if I do 105, I can do roughly 5 kilo jumps, which is kind of how I like to pace things throughout the block. But there's a reason he wants me to start higher intensity. So possibly a little bit heavier than that. And then I've got a set of 4 and RP of 6 that I was going to do around 100 for, but obviously you guys will see what I end up doing. Then I've got 3x4 at 85 kilos, so that should be absolutely fine. Sumo, last block I had horrendous sumo 7s. This block, thankfully, we have not got that. Granted, it was my own fault because I asked Lewis for some crazy volume on sumo. Hated doing it. Stupid thing to ask for. So this block, we've got a paused single, RP 6 this week, and then I've got a set of 4, an RP of 5, and then 3x4 at a set percentage drop, depending on what I do the set of 4 at. So that is the plan for today. To be honest, the session should not take me long at all, but I'm not gonna rush. I'm gonna just try and get in the mood, enjoy it. put some good music on and just kind of have fun, because it's nearly 5 o'clock as I'm filming this, so I've been talking for so long. All I've got left to do today is make dinner, obviously have another shower after I've trained, and then I'm just gonna be chilling out on the sofa, and I want to actually chill out. I'm gonna leave my phone in a different room. I'm gonna put my laptop in a different room, because recently every time I sit on the sofa to relax, I've been making more time to purposefully relax and like sit on the sofa, hang out with Zuko. Like, he loves curling up on the sofa with me, and I love it so much. And I'll have the TV on, but I won't actually be watching what's on the TV. I'll be either replying to people on my phone, even though I have a rule where I don't reply unless I'm at my desk, unless it's obviously urgent, then I still will. But generally speaking, Sunday evening, most people aren't training, nothing urgent is going to come through. But yeah, I'm either on my phone kind of replying to clients, or I am scrolling Instagram. That's a big problem I've got at the moment. Or I'm on my laptop and I'm making content or plans and ideas for content, and I'm like, you need to switch off in front, like when you're relaxing, you need to actively relax. So plan for tonight is, once I've showered, eaten, is I'm going to sit in front of the TV, no technology around me apart from the TV, and I'm going to actually just switch off. I might watch a movie and just, actually switch off and try and get in bed for a good time. This last week, I kind of set the goal for weekdays being in bed between 9 and half 9. Not necessarily falling asleep by then, but like in bed, ready to kind of start going to sleep around that time. And for the most part, I did stick to it. So I was really proud of that, and I felt really good during the week. So I'm going to stick to that again this week, which means it's Sunday night, going to try and be in bed around half 9. I didn't get up too late this morning either. I think I was up about 8, so shouldn't be a struggle with that. And yeah, I'm just going to try and really keep on top of everything, because I'm really motivated again right now in terms of my training. Like, I'm back to really loving my sessions, and if I'm loving my sessions in this weather, imagine how I'm going to feel when the temperature heats up, type thing. But if I'm really enjoying training right now, I'm like, okay, you need to lean into this, and you need to just tick every single box. And I'm in a really good position in terms of my strength, in terms of my body. Like, my body is healthy. I had some work done on my hamstring and hip the other day that have been bugging me for a while, and it's definitely helped. And yeah, I'm going to book in with him again, hopefully sometime soon-ish. And I'm probably going to try and stick to seeing him like at the start of most blocks, at least for a while, because I am someone that lets things get so bad that just ignores them. And I am good at regulating and switching things up when I need to, but I need to get better at just being a bit more proactive. And if it helps me add a kilo to my total, then I'll take the kilo, right? So that is something else I'm going to try and stay on top of. But basically, I just want to say, I'm really trying to make the most of feeling this much joy when I'm training, and feeling like I'm so hungry to prove a point this year. My total did not progress how it should have last year, and now, you know, I've handed the reins over to Lewis. I trust him fully. My nutrition is in someone else's control, and I'm going to stick with that pretty much all year. Like, that is the plan. I want this to all be like, I wouldn't hire a coach without the intention of a long-term relationship. So I'm just going to put all my trust in the people around me and work with the team I've got. And yeah, we're going to have a really good year. And I'm desperate to prove what I'm capable of this year. And I just don't think I did that last year. So that is what I'm thinking. That was a lot of ramble, a lot of talking. So I'm going to shut up now, and I'm actually going to start warming up.
Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see. 한여름에도 넌 겨울. Yeah, girl, cold-blooded. Yeah, 너와 있을 때 I swear. 제가 먼저 zero 폭설한 그 children. 꿈에도 I wasn't aware. 나만 빼고 넌 모두에게 참 친절해. 배신감이 들어 단판이 태도 머릿속을 흔드는 ibuprofen. 그만해 it's time to stop. 승부욕을 자극하는 style. Yeah, 알면서도 마음이 자꾸 내게 가. 안만 빠져버릴까. If you want me back, I'll tell you I'm sorry. If you want me back, I'll tell you stop trying. Yeah, you got me. Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see. 한여름에도 넌 겨울. Yeah, girl, you're cold-blooded. Yeah, girl, you're cold-blooded.
Okay, so just going to do a super quick wrap up of that session. This video is long enough already. I'm so unbelievably happy. Firstly, didn't even try, and I got the session done in an hour and 20 minutes. Thoroughly enjoyed all of it. Just in a really good mood. Can't actually believe how heavy I've started the block on bench. 107 double was also an undershoot. That was more like an RP6 than a 7. 100 for 4 was about a 6, which was the target. So really, really happy. Sumo as well. Like, squats were fine. Nothing to really say on squats. They moved as they should. But sumo, 160 pause single felt better than last warm up. Probably wasn't even an RP6, like it was really comfortable. I feel like my wedge is there now. Technique is there now. Back off felt amazing. Set of 4 at 145 felt super easy. And then did 3x4 at 120 just now, which is why I'm out of breath because I literally just did them like 30 seconds between each. Very, very happy. Like perfect start to the block, perfect way to start this ambitious block. Got some really good goals this block and I felt like this was the perfect way to start it. So very excited to just continue locking in and see what we can do over the next few weeks.
I'm like frozen 뭐야 모두 stress은 gotta let it go 했어 소개팅 데이팅 어플 다 깔아 또 보았어 반대가 끌리